The New Jersey's governor's race has been called by the Associated Press Governor Phil Murphy the victor, winning re-election, the first Democratic New Jersey governor to do so since 1977. He leads Republican Jack Ciattarelli by just under 29,000 votes at last check. National correspondent Paul Gerke live outside the Cathedral Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Newark. He'll attend Mass there. Governor Murphy will attend Mass there later this morning. Paul, the state has 1 million more registered Democrats than Republicans, but this race was so close. What happened?
Well, now that we have the luxury of hindsight, Adrian, 3 things really stand out to me. 1, Democrats didn't exactly campaign very hard here. New Jersey is pretty reliably blue, and no poll gave them any reason to worry. 2, Ciattarelli made property taxes a focal point of his campaign, and that resonated with a lot of people in New Jersey, especially South Jersey. I actually spoke with a retired couple recently who were very upset about their increasing property taxes. That's a big issue. And finally, Murphy was really strict on the pandemic. He was one of the last governors to repeal a mask mandate, for example. His opponent argued his measures were too much and they hurt small businesses, and many voters seem to agree. But to the victor go the sound bites. Governor Murphy extended an olive branch across the political divide in his victory speech.
If you want to understand where America is heading, look to New Jersey. And if you want to be governor of all of New Jersey, you must listen to all of New Jersey.
The Ciattarelli campaign released a statement last night celebrating Republican victories across the ticket, adding, quote, "Right now our team is focused on making sure all the legal votes are counted." Not exactly a concession, Adrian.
You know, another race in New Jersey that's catching a lot of attention, Paul, is the race for the state Senate seat held by Steve Sweeney, who's been New Jersey Senate president for more than a decade. What do we know about the gentleman running against him?
This thing is running wild on the internet right now. That man's name is Edward Durr. He's a 58-year-old father of 3, grandfather of 6. He grew up in South Jersey. He's a truck driver for a furniture company, has 0 political experience, and yet he leads Sweeney in that race by about 2,200 votes right now. Now, I know state governments can be a little confusing, so let me break this down for you a little. Sweeney is the 2nd most powerful elected official in the state of New Jersey. That is not the seat that Durr would take over. He won't become Senate president, but he would take the president's seat, and that would mix things up in the state government here in New Jersey. It's a pretty big deal, especially considering Durr only spent $153 on his campaign. 66 of that was on a Dunkin' Donuts run.
I think a lot of people have seen these lesser experienced politicians. Some have been wary, but some have been invigorated. Wouldn't you say, Paul?
I found his campaign video to be extremely endearing. It looks like it was made on 0 budget. Like he handed his phone to a significant other and was like, "Let me talk about what I want the people to hear." And it's just him walking awkwardly toward a camera, barely able to say his lines. But that message resonates with people. We want to see the everyman. We want to see the union member, the truck driver representing us in government. I think there's a real disconnect between career politicians and bureaucrats and businessmen and the people who are actually casting their votes, especially in a place like New Jersey.
Well, we're certainly going to hear more about that race. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.